The year was 1922. The season was spring, but the air still held a winter chill. Deep in the Bavarian countryside, miles from the nearest town, a farm stood alone, a collection of buildings, surrounded by dark woods. This place had a name, Hinterkaifeck. The name suggested isolation, behind or beyond the known world. Not a grand estate, a working place, built of wood, built of stone, weathered by wind, weathered by rain. Nearest neighbor over half a mile away, a distance that could feel like an eternity at night. A place where secrets could be kept, where a scream might never be heard. The Gruber family lived here. Andreas Gruber, Cecilia, his wife, Victoria Gabriel, their widowed daughter, young Cecilia, 7 years old, Josef, 2 years old. Maria Baumgartner, the new maid, arrived that very day. A life of routine and toil, rising with the sun, tending livestock, working the land. A small world defined by property lines and changing seasons. Insular, keeping to themselves. Rumors in the taverns, whispers of incest, whispers of hidden money. In the weeks leading up to the final terrible event, the fabric of normalcy at Hinterkaifeck began to fray. Strange and unsettling occurrences plagued the Gruber family, small signs that something was amiss. Andreas found footprints leading from the woods to the farmhouse, but no prints leading away, as if the visitor vanished into thin air. The family's sense of being watched intensified. Victoria heard strange noises from the attic, footsteps, a slow, deliberate pacing. Andreas searched and found no one. Yet on subsequent nights the sounds returned. A phantom presence lived just above their heads. The family grew anxious. Their isolation became dread. They were alone, and they felt it. A newspaper from Munich appeared. No one subscribed. No one admitted bringing it. Then a set of house keys vanished, leaving the farm vulnerable, another sign of an unseen hand. Months earlier, the previous maid fled in terror, saying the house was haunted. Voices, footsteps, an oppressive presence. Dismissed as superstition then, her panic now felt like a warning. The last day of March 1922 began like any other at Hinterkaifeck. It was a Friday. The new maid, Maria Baumgartner, had arrived that afternoon. Her sister, the last to see the household alive. Inside, the house felt tight with unspoken tension. As dusk fell, only the cattle broke the silence. Someone, likely hiding on the farm, perhaps the attic, waited for the right moment. The killer used a simple, brutal strategy. The weapon, a mattock from the family's shed, the pick and the adze. They lured family members one by one into the barn, perhaps with a staged noise among the animals. First, Victoria, then her mother, Cecilia, then Andreas. Finally, little Cecilia, 7 years old. The blows were savage, aimed at the head. The killer showed no hesitation. After the barn, the murderer moved into the main house. 2-year-old Joseph lay in his cot in his mother's room. He was killed in his bed. The final victim was the new maid, Maria Baumgartner, struck down within hours of arrival. After the slaughter, the killer stayed for days, feeding cattle, tending the dog, eating in the kitchen, calm and methodical amid the dead. For several days, an unnatural quiet lay over Hinterkaifeck. The family missed Sunday church. Young Cecilia missed school. The postman saw letters pile up. Neighbors saw smoke, but no signs of life. On Tuesday, April 4th, neighbor Lorenz Schlittenbauer led a welfare check. They called, circled, found doors locked, and forced the barn. In the dust and gloom they found 4 bodies, partially covered by hay and an old door. Andreas, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, and 7-year-old Cecilia. Heads crushed by savage blows. The house was unnervingly tidy, heavy with death. The horror was not confined to the barn. In Victoria's bedroom lay Joseph, 2 years old. In the maid's quarters, Maria, killed on her first night. 6 lives, an entire household wiped out. The police were called, and the search for a ghost-like killer began. When Munich police arrived, the scene was already compromised by neighbors, searchers, and onlookers. In 1922, forensic science was in its infancy. Robbery seemed plausible, but money remained, casting doubt on theft as motive. Autopsies showed fatal blunt force trauma, consistent with a mattock. The murders likely occurred Friday night. A chilling detail: young Cecilia survived for hours, tearing out her own hair before dying. Police learned of Andreas's harsh reputation and rumors of incest with Victoria. Victoria's husband, Carl Gabriel, was reported killed in the war. His body never recovered. Was jealousy a motive? Was Josef the child of Andreas? The weapon bore no prints. The killer moved carefully. Tracks in snow had melted. Heads sent for study yielded nothing. Hundreds interviewed. Every lead failed. A perfect crime. As the investigation stalled, suspects emerged from the Grubers' periphery. Lorenz Schlittenbauer, the neighbor, led the search. He seemed to know the farm too well and handled bodies with unsettling composure. Rumors of an affair with Victoria, perhaps even Joseph's father. A dispute over the child or the farm. Could it have turned violent? No proof linked him. Another theory: Carl Gabriel survived, deserted, assumed a new identity, and returned for revenge. Leads stretched to Russia, then went cold. A phantom suspect. Could a stranger seeking shelter have been surprised? Violence erupting suddenly? Brutality fits. Staying dazed does not. A false confession collapsed. Suspect lists swelled, then thinned. Jealous kin, angry farmhands, even a cult. In 2007, a re-exam named a prime suspect, but time and lost evidence barred proof. More than a century has passed. The farm was torn down in 1923. Its timbers burned, as if to cleanse the land. Today, an empty field and a simple memorial remain, the forest standing guard. The mystery endures, folklore rooted in terrible fact. Who made the footprints in the snow? Who walked in the attic? Why so brutal, yet so methodical? The family lured one by one. The killer stayed for days. Not simple robbery, not a typical crime of passion. A phantom who knew the farm, moved with confidence, and vanished without a trace. Hinterkaifeck warns how thin the veil of civilization can be in deep isolation. The silence of 6 stolen lives, a crime never punished, a truth lost to time. To remember Hinterkaifeck is to confront the unknown, the footsteps overhead, the tracks that led nowhere.